quality issues with the turtle dove Louis Vuitton empreinte leather yet again. Hi and very welcome. My name is Mary. This is my channel Lumi Level Up and I'm a luxury lover on an average income trying to be more mindful with my money. Maybe you have watched my video about the bag my husband surprised me with for Christmas. Therefore, maybe you've already been waiting for this video. If you haven't watched the first one yet, as always, it's linked down in the description box and at the end of this video. This is a deep dive review of my turtle dove Pochette Felicie from Louis Vuitton in the empreinte leather, which unfortunately might have some quality issues we are going to take a closer look at and discuss. This is the third bag from Louis Vuitton that I got in the turtle dove empreinte leather. Number 1 and 2 both were the Neverfull MM. The first one I got was missing a stud, therefore I returned it. The second one was very asymmetrical and misshaped, therefore I returned it. I loved that bag, but I didn't want to try it a third time. And if you have been around on my channel, you probably can't even hear it anymore. How often I mention that very first video on my channel. Especially since the video itself is not very good, but I just can't get tired of mentioning it. Since I think it's incredible that these defective bags passed the Louis Vuitton quality control and both ended up with me. So how many poor quality bags are out there in total? It's a shame. I even received comments that the bag I was unboxing obviously would be a fake. Yeah, that would explain the asymmetry. But sorry to say so, no, it definitely was an authentic Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I ordered directly from Louis Vuitton around April 2021. If you're expecting a scandal of the same scale in this video, I'm sorry I have to disappoint you. This time it's not even half as bad. To be honest, till this day I'm not 100% sure if there even is a quality issue with my Louis Vuitton Pochette Felicie or if I'm just slowly going paranoid with Louis Vuitton. But that's why we're doing this video here and maybe you can help me out. I'm usually not that nitpicky. I'm no one who inspects each and every little stitch and expects it to be perfect. Nevertheless, this time I have to complain about the stitches as well. But let's start with the first thing I noticed, which is no quality issue. Under the golden button, there is this round layer of leather. I didn't expect it to be there and I just don't love the look of it. I never noticed it before and I'm quite sure the canvas, épi and vernis Pochette Felicie doesn't have it. When I checked back on the website, it's very obvious to see that the empreinte leather version of the Felicie does have it, even though the empreinte bicolor version doesn't. I personally think it does not add anything to the style. I don't think it's super terrible either, but if I could choose, I would prefer it without this little leather tag, especially since the glazing on the lighter colored empreinte pieces is black, and so you do have quite some contrast with it. And I just don't get why some bags have it and others don't. I guess it has something to do with practicality rather than design. Maybe the empreinte leather itself is softer than canvas or the other leather types, and therefore this button just needs some more support. But that doesn't explain why the empreinte bicolor one doesn't have it. It's nothing to worry about. It's just how the empreinte leather Felicie is built. But I thought I'll mention it anyways, since it came as a surprise for me and maybe you never noticed that little leather tag before as well. And maybe it's just because my husband chose this exact style and so I didn't check all the pictures very detailed beforehand. And probably it's just that I had the canvas and the épi one more prominent in my mind. When it comes to the inserts, both of mine are perfect quality, nothing to complain here. Probably you know that the Pochette Felicie is constructed as a wallet on a chain. So it comes with this inlay for credit cards and bills. It got 8 card slots, 4 on each side, and it has this big compartment that you can use for bills or little papers. And a piece I really do love, this little flat zip pouch. You could put a lot of coins inside of it. So I think as a coin purse it's even too big. So maybe when downsizing your bag, you could use this pouch as your complete wallet for bills and cards. But of course, it does not offer you a lot of structure to organize since it is only one compartment. Nevertheless, I think it is a very beautiful piece itself. Quite sure you have seen this many times before, but let's take a look anyways. When you put both inserts inside of the bag, they take up quite some room. I would say there is about half of the space left. Therefore, most people use their Pochette Felicie without the inserts, and they get sold separately quite often on the preloved market. I don't know yet how much use I will get out of these two, but I don't plan to sell them since I like to keep my purchases as a complete set. But let's come to the more juicy part and take a look at the bag itself. First thing to note here, this button, it does need some pressure and the bag does not close super easy with just laying the button on like it would with a magnet. You really have to squeeze and push it against the bag, and I'm curious to see what that will cause to the bag over time, if it might go pointy on top. If so, I don't think it would bother me too much on that style of bag, but if you are very particular with your bags getting pointy over time, maybe this is not the perfect one for you. But let's get to the possible quality issue, and I will show you the bag up close now. I don't know if you will be even able to spot it if I don't tell you what I don't like about it. But to me, the embossing seems slightly asymmetrical. There's hardly a way to spot it unless you take a closer look at the LV Monogram. The one on the left, I have to check. The gap between the L and the stitching is about a millimeter. On the right one, the distance from the L to the stitching is about double as big. I don't know if anyone else would even notice, but it is what my eyes are drawn to when I look at the bag. Once seen, never unseen, I guess. The interesting thing about it is, even the pictures on the website of the Pochette Felicie seem like it would be the case with all of the bags. But these pictures are taken at an angle and not up front. Maybe the L is supposed to have a slight upwards diagonally and is not meant to stick straight to the ground. I don't know. I really don't know if I'm just going crazy and this is exactly how it's supposed to be, or if mine really is slightly asymmetrical. I checked some Pochette Felicies on the preloved market and to me they seem to be more symmetrical than mine. And I already told you in a previous video that my husband has a very good eye for details. So I just laid that bag in front of him and asked if I'm crazy or if he can spot something wrong with that bag. And he reacted shocked. Yeah, but funny enough, he didn't realize this asymmetry with the embossing going on, but issues with the stitching, which I hadn't noticed since, as I told you, I usually don't check my stitches precisely. But he pointed out to me, and I think I have to show it to you with pictures. On the left, there are 2 bigger stitches, there are 3 smaller ones. One seems quite hunched and overall it just doesn't seem very even. My husband pointed out as well that on one side there are only 3 stitches from the corner to the flower, where on the other side there are 5 stitches from the corner to the flower. It doesn't make the bag overall, the bag itself, less beautiful. And I think it takes a psychopath to count the stitches and even notice. I love you, darling. But considering that the craftsmanship, the overall quality, the stitches and the symmetry were the most important factors a few years ago to differentiate an authentic from a fake Louis Vuitton piece, I just don't know if I can be fully happy with that one. Overall, it is beautiful. There's nothing major wrong with it. But when you take a closer look at the details, it's just not perfect. And even though, of course, I know, in the range of Louis Vuitton bags, this for sure is on the cheaper end. But paying more than €1,000 for a small bag of that size, shouldn't it be as close to perfect as possible? As man-made can be? Because honestly, I've seen Coach bags that are made with way higher quality at a fraction of the price. I know, it's not the end of the world. I know firsthand it's not the worst quality issues that happen at Louis Vuitton. As I mentioned, I'm not even 100% sure if it even is a real issue, or I just got overly sensitive with my Louis Vuitton purchases over time. So, if you do own a Louis Vuitton Pochette Felicie in empreinte leather, it would really help me out a lot with my decision if I want to exchange this one. If you could check the symmetry of the two LV monograms on the top front flap. Because if it were just the asymmetry and not perfectness of the stitches, I would be fine. I didn't even notice that until my husband pointed it out to me. And in the end, yes, these bags still are handmade. After the first shock, my husband was even pleasantly joking. Well, I guess we have to come to realize that machines are the better humans when it comes to sewing. He's a lot into tech and artificial intelligence, so yeah, handmade bags made by humans might just not be perfectly perfect. But what do you think? Do you think I overreact? And should I keep this exact one and enjoy it? Or do you see a quality issue here with the symmetry and the stitching? And I should exchange my Pochette Felicie for a perfect one. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time and bye! Upwards diagonally. Diagonally. Why can't I say that? I have two suggestions for you. The video about how my husband surprised me with that Pochette Felicie and my very first video about the quality issues with the empreinte leather Neverfull.